about to leave, already packing. Come with me, I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions. We'll get away, this is what we waited for.
Salam alaikum, hello my loves, how are you today? Sabah al-ward. I hope all is well, it's all good here, alhamdulillah. Okay, today we are making Masemen. It's a thin layered pastry which is well known throughout Wujda, also known as Raghayef in other parts or regions of Morocco, places such as Tangier, Araish, those regions. Here I'm adding 2 cups of fine semolina. I've also added a little bit of flour just so it sieves properly. After this I'm going to add, this is a Turkish flour, it's called Atak flour. I actually get this one from London, although you can find it in Asian shops or Turkish shops. If you haven't got Atak flour, then strong white bread flour will suffice. Okay, so just 1 cup of this flour. You will notice the difference using Atak, it's a lot smoother and more elasticy. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of, or just under 1 teaspoon of salt. And I'm going to start to add a little bit of water at a time. I want a sort of hard, not a hard dough, but not a soft dough, so in between. So quite a firm dough. And I'm going to use my eyes until I think it's firm enough. So I'm adding a little at a time to begin with. This is lukewarm water. Start off on a slow mix and gradually increase the speed, just so that the flour doesn't fly around everywhere. Okay, probably need a little bit more. And once I've got enough water, I'm going to turn up the speed and allow this to work its magic for about 2 minutes until you have an elastic dough. I've used here about 300 millilitres of warm water. I started off with a litre. I'm just going to disinfect my work area to make sure it's clean and free from any bacteria, particularly now with coronavirus. And I'm going to go over it with a dry kitchen towel, just to ensure there are no traces of the Dettol left. Now it's time to form my balls of Masemen. I'm going to split this into about 5 or 6 balls. You can see how elastic the dough has become, and that's about 2 minutes in a bread mixer. Okay, so small dough balls is what you need here. Okay, just going to quicken up the process here, as it's a very long-winded procedure. I'm just going to cover them with oil and allow them to rest for about half an hour before I start spreading out the dough. Okay, cover with cling film so it doesn't dry out. I'm going to prepare my butter and oil mix. and I use this to spread out the dough so that it's nice and thin and forms into a flaky layered pastry. Okay, when I'm ready, after the half an hour is up, I'm going to pop this in the microwave for about sort of 30 seconds to 1 minute. Okay, again, make sure it doesn't splatter over your microwave as butter will erupt. Cover it with one of those plastic lids or pop it into a container with a lid. While that's resting for half an hour, I'm just going to make some tea, some Moroccan tea. I will link the video of how to make Moroccan tea at the end of this video. I'm also going to refill the tea. This is gunpowder tea from China, which is what we use to make Moroccan tea. Always remember to replace old ingredients with new by putting the new ingredients in first and then adding the old ingredients on top. That's how we replenish stock in Tesco's. When I used to work at Tesco's, that's how I was trained, and it makes sense. You don't want to keep topping up new on top of old. Okay, remember to tidy as we go. By putting things away. This is the tea we use. So putting my tea onto brew with a little bit of fresh mint. Again, I'm using Dettol. I find Dettol is the best for getting rid of that bacteria. Either the Dettol or the method I tend to use. Okay, so I am just replenishing my coarse semolina here into my shaker. As I said previously, we get rid of the old before we add the new. So I'm going to fill it up with new coarse semolina, and this will ensure the layers of pastry are divided. They don't stick together and they puff up, so you have separate layers. This is probably one of the most difficult pastries to make in Moroccan cooking, baking. It's very similar to making puff pastry. You'll see the process I'm about to do now. I will show you one and then I'll speed up the editing. But before I do that, I just wanted to show you another hack. I like to show you my hacks within my video. This is called Barkeeper's Friend. It's a stain remover. You can see I've tried removing the stain with a cloth I can't use bleach on this worktop, so I have to use Barkeeper's Friend. It removes stains instantly before your very eyes, as if by magic. There you go. And it has saved me from many tea stains, Ribena stains, curry sauce stains, or tagine stains. It's amazing stuff, and I use it every day. It's also very good if you've got a sink with grooves. It gets all of the stains out of the grooves. Okay, getting back to what we were doing. Okay, so I'm just about to flatten out one of the pastries. I'll show you how to do one, as I said, and I will fast forward and add an audio clip so that it's not just too mundane to watch. Okay, here we go. So I've oiled the balls so that they don't stick to the worktop. This also helps them to spread out. I'm going to collect my butter and oil from the microwave. So I've given this about 30 seconds to a minute to melt. I don't want it fully melted, just slightly soft. I start to flatten out from the middle outwards, as you can see here. Okay, you don't want to be you want to be firm, but you don't try to avoid making any holes in the pastry. I'm going to add a little bit, and by adding the butter and oil, it just makes the pastry thin out easier. So I'm picking it up and pulling it out, and almost if you've ever used a parachute within children's play, it's almost like using a parachute. So just trying to get that air underneath and then pulling out. Okay, so I'm just going to quicken up the process here. So you can see I'm adding semolina between the layers. So first sprinkling on top all over, and then folding over in a third, top to bottom, and then bottom to top. In between each layer, I add a little bit of butter and oil, add a sprinkling of coarse semolina, and then fold over again from left to right or right to left into a square, as seen here. And then put it to one side until you finish the process with all of them.
Yeah, it's been up on my mind, oh, it's hard to resist, feeling like one of a kind. Oh, now the hard time's over, and for a moment I won't look back now. Yeah, and it's moving closer, I can feel it coming. Oh, I know it's my time now. It's another game that I'm playing now. 'Cause it's finally here, finally here, yeah, here. Oh, 'cause it's finally here, finally here, yeah.
Now it's time to start cooking. Okay, so I'm just cleaning. Before I place them on top, I'm going to add a little bit of vegetable oil so they don't stick and they crisp up nicely. And just go over with a kitchen towel all over. And then I'm going to place them as close together as possible to ensure I can fit as many on at once as I can. I think I can fit about five or six on here, small ones. You can make them bigger if you like, 3 big instead of 6 small, but I prefer them this size.
two up to the other side. It's all love, just know we down to ride. No new faces, no strangers vanish. I remember we were down, we never panicked. Now we got it, we super rockin'. Make your little girl wanna dance, see her booty poppin'. Heard you talking all about it, I really got it. Heard you talking all about it, I really got it. Your guy, trust guy, I be like, what's up, guy? I was down so bad, I took those L's, I was like, what, guy? Now I'm up on my way to the bank, I'm laughing, ha, ha. Now I'm up, I barely hit, thinking hater, rah, rah. Okay, moment I fade, I gotta go away. Okay, pressure on me if you can't make no mistakes. Okay, I remember time back down on 5th block, never switch sides, free PC until he touchdown. Chucking two up to the other side. It's all I just know we